Coming up on today's wrestling news, where is Sami Zayn? We'll tell you.
Is Alexa Bliss joining the Wyatt Six?
Jamie Hayter no longer has visa issues.
And 2 more WrestleMania matches have been announced.
I'm Michael Hamflett.
I'm Phil Chambers.
And this is the Limelight special weekend
We're on
news.
tour!
Oh, yeah. And somebody who isn't on tour, though, Phil, is Sami Zayn, potentially. He was last seen, of course, at Elimination Chamber, getting his neck half broken by his best friend, Kevin Owens. Something he's familiar with, but less familiar is Sami Zayn not being part of the picture around WrestleMania season. Well, as many people thought, he might be fighting Karrion Kross, or they might bring back the Kevin Owens thing. It turns out that it might be a little bit more simple than that. Sami Zayn, surprisingly for this time of year, has asked for some time off. This is according to Fightful Select, who were able to report, at least for the time being, is that he'd actually requested the time off, and it's why he hasn't been appearing for the company, but he has been advertised for future events. WWE have advertised the European tour on the road to Clash at Paris. Not clashing with anything that I'm aware of. Sami Zayn is on the poster for that, so we do expect him back, potentially at WrestleMania. But that might explain why, for now, considering how factored in he was going into Elimination Chamber, he's since disappeared.
It also kind of makes sense why they would use that Elimination Chamber match to shine quite a big spotlight on the Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn feud if he'd already asked for that bit of time off. It's just, who the hell asked for time off at WrestleMania time?
It's almost a flex, isn't it?
It's unheard of in wrestling to actually do that. But do you think he comes back and maybe interferes in the Owens-Orton stuff?
I think that's it. With Zayn out the picture, I think it makes it more palatable that we've got Orton and Owens. I think a lot of people were wanting Zayn and Owens for WrestleMania so much that now you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get this heated blood feud thing with Orton and Owens, and then Sami Zayn doing the run at the end, if he is coming back for that, gives everybody the big pop and a feel-good moment, and maybe they do.
And we'll get Owens Zayn at Mania one day.
Yeah, that's
maybe, probably.
Without Logan Paul being a referee in a half-full pandemic crowd. Yeah, I think with Zayn and Owens as well, they can never stop fighting. They'll always find a way back to each other. So this time next year, you could have Zayn winning a Rumble and fighting Owens for a title. It's never over.
Never over.
So yeah. So Sami Zayn off for the foreseeable, but at least now we know why.
Yep. But speaking of where are wrestlers, where is Alexa Bliss and where are the Wyatt Six? Well, it turns out it's kind of tied in together a little bit. Obviously, Alexa Bliss came back at the Royal Rumble, got that amazing pop at the Royal Rumble. Then she had that one match, the Elimination Chamber qualifying thing. Yeah. And then was in the Elimination Chamber, lost that, and we've not seen her since. And then there was the weird things about being removed from the WWE World events. And then she did that tweet that was vaguely sarcastic for Dave Ross from Friends. But then we've also not seen the Wyatt Six since they got beat by Karrion Kross and all the people they released. So it's all kind of tied in together because it turns out that the Wyatt Six have been off due to injuries. And Fightful Select have reported that it was Bo Dallas who was injured, Uncle Howdy, of course, but that he has been cleared to return. And so now they're just kind of waiting for when that will be. So the latest thing is that they're just waiting. What was the quote? WWE is waiting until the time is right, but it also very much is, from the Wrestling Observer anyway, tied in. So Alexa Bliss will be joining the Wyatt Six and they will all be coming back together, which kind of makes sense because they were hinting with the Wyatt Six logos when Alexa Bliss was on screen, and it's been rumored forever, basically, that Alexa Bliss was going to be the sixth member of that team. So it does seem like that's all coming together, but it's just they're waiting for the time to be right, so maybe a Raw after WrestleMania kind of thing? Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it? So Alexa Bliss returns, she's got the Lily doll, she seems to be, and has tweeted as much, extremely proud of the work she did with Bray Wyatt and doesn't just want to drop that aspect of the character. Fair. People are glad, I think, to have any version of Alexa Bliss back, as you say. The reactions were just unreal for her. And then this week, there was, of course, the reporting from, the great reporting from Fightful Select, I think, spotting a conversation between Fanatics and somebody who said that Alexa Bliss wasn't going to be part of the sign-ins. That got taken way out of context that she wasn't going to be around for WrestleMania. This brings that back together, doesn't it? The idea that Wyatt Six, again, a bit like Sami Zayn, I suppose, might make an appearance rather than be advertised for a match, and then almost swearing in Alexa Bliss back into the fold with the Wyatts. Yeah. Feels like something WrestleMania sized. It feels like something that'd be a big deal. We've seen that Alexa Bliss does anything and gets an enormous reaction. So bringing these two acts together that have this deep connection with their sort of that side of the fan base feels WrestleMania sized, doesn't it? Yeah. And if not, as you say, Raw after WrestleMania weekend, with everybody fit in the Wyatts as well. Uncle Howdy, of course, was nursing injuries for a while. It's very hard to do that stable when these types of characters are carrying nagging injuries. You kind of need them all fully fit and good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It poses the question of the Royal Rumble return was amazing, but if you're going to do that, you kind of need something to go into straight away. But maybe it was just the injuries that kind of got in the way of that, and that's why that kind of got a bit muddled. Yeah. But at least they're waiting to do it right rather than just rushing into anything that might turn into nothing.
Yeah, and it's very sort of Triple H now to want the follow through to make just as much sense as the return, rather than just like dropping everything on the big debut and having zero to do after the fact. Which brings us quite neatly into another wrestler who can now seemingly be back on your screens, hopefully sooner rather than later. Jamie Hayter has had quite a sparse schedule in 2025, and a lot of that, as much as anything, was down to visa issues. She'd wrestled, I think it was for Pro Wrestling Eve in the UK, but other than that, it was Julia Hart, I think, on a Dynamite to kind of level their series earlier this year, and that's been pretty much it. Well, she responded to somebody over the weekend on socials just to confirm, quote, "I don't have visa problems, all good here." So if nothing else, that's Jamie Hayter letting you know that if she's not appearing on television, it is nothing to do with admin, travel, or any of that stuff. And because she's so great, fingers crossed, she can be dropped right back into this division. They'll probably want to do some sort of third match with Julia Hart to wrap that up, but just,
you would imagine so.
Just look at the landscape that she could be walking back into right now. The women's division is maybe in the best health it's ever been in AEW.
Yeah,
Two full-length matches on Dynamite, both of which drew one of the better numbers Dynamite's had in a while. Toni Storm is once again just a tour de force back on top of things. Mercedes Moné's form as the TBS champion. They're potentially building up her and Athena finally in that massive winner-take-all match. It's it's a rich time to be kind of re-entering that division, and Jamie Hayter still feels like there's unfinished business from the last comeback following Wembley.
Yep, absolutely. It never ran the right course that everyone kind of expected it to be, obviously, because other things get in the way, but it's just nice to know that whatever roadblocks were there have been cleared, and we're good to go full steam ahead, goddammit, with Jamie Hayter. You know what else is ready full steam ahead?
What is it?
Our tour!
What?
That if you want, you can still get tickets for whatculture.com/tickets. We are in Belfast today in a matter of hours, so if you're not here, and then we're going to be in Glasgow on Monday, and then Las Goddamn Vegas for WrestleMania. So get your tickets, whatculture.com/tickets. But finally, speaking of WrestleMania, 2 more matches have been announced. So one of them was just on SmackDown last night. It has been made official that it is going to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. Obviously, that was always going to happen. But the other one is the long-rumored, but now finally official, Triple H has made it official on social media at least, the triple threat match between CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. Love it or hate it, that is what the match is going to be at WrestleMania.
I think this is going to whip up a lot of conversation, as it often does when we're talking about someone like a CM Punk or a Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins is also there. The fact at the moment is that neither of them will main event in Punk and Roman. Potentially, they could have supposed night one, but theoretically, neither of them will main event in this match. A triple threat always feels lesser than a singles match. And I think that is drawing a bit of divisiveness at the moment. The segment on SmackDown was very hot last night, as you would expect it to be. But I think the reality overwhelmed it slightly. The knowledge that we were heading towards this triple threat and a match that felt a lot more like a compromise of everybody's talents than truly making the best of this. Boiling hot period. Very WrestleMania 2000 coded, with that like hot roster being thrown into tag matches, whatever.
Just a Triple H in every corner.
We're getting really headed. I don't mind it, I gotta be honest.
We cannot continue with this.
So when it comes to WrestleMania, it doesn't really feel like everything is quite in its right place, especially not for CM Punk. However, we are certainly in the right place, aren't we, Phil? Because we're in Belfast. Now, outside, we loved it so much we wanted to be back outside to wrap this news video up. Phil, if they want to watch videos as good, maybe even better than this one, what can they do online?
We can continue their YouTube journey. He loves it. Right here. We're outside now.
We'll see you soon.